to the show. मैं हूं आपका साथी Jamie Alter. How's everyone's day been so far? क्रिकेट नहीं है कुछ दिनों से, मतलब भारतीय क्रिकेट के कोई मैचेस नहीं है, जो कि ठीक है. महिला टीम्स ने अच्छा प्रदर्शन दिया था कॉमनवेल्थ गेम्स में. Unfortunately, it didn't end the way all of us would have liked it to be. I think the best ever Australian team, or the best ever women's team, finally held their nerve to beat India by a small margin and take the first Commonwealth Games gold medal. But the men's team also had a good weekend. They wrapped up the series against West Indies, both the matches in Florida, by fairly convincing margins to take that series 4-1. पर दोस्तों, मंडे नाइट को जो बीसीसीआई ने रात के वक्त एशिया कप स्क्वाड अनाउंस किया, उसको लेके आज हम शो में बात करेंगे सुरेन से. सुरेन विल बी अ वेरी familiar face to all of you who watch Indian cricket. He's one of the presenters on Star Sports Network. We see him in the studio, we see him at the grounds, we see him doing something which I would love to be doing. That is spending a lot of my time talking to Indian cricketers and some overseas cricketers, be it the IPL, be it the various bilateral series, be it tournaments. So without any further ado, let's get Suren here on the show और हम आज का discussion शुरू करेंगे. Keeping in mind, like I said, the Asia Cup squad that was announced on Monday, our views on it, both Suren and I, and whether it'll be the closest indication to India's T20 World Cup squad. There he is.
What's up, man? What's up? What's up? What's up?
Very well, my friend. Good to see you. Good to see you.
Let me just increase the volume on this.
हाँ, थोड़ा सा.
Perfect. How are you, Jamie?
How's your day been so far, my friend?
It's been raining. I'm in Mumbai, and it's been raining
हाँ.
pretty much like all morning. Woke up, just chilled, went to the gym, had a little workout, and then I was just thinking about how the team is looking, because that's been something at the back of my mind throughout, right? And I have been watching cricket for the last month and a half. I mean, it's high time we talk about cricket finally, because I've been missing that, man. I've been missing that. Yeah.
Absolutely. Well, I'm glad to hear that you saw some rain. Because the sun has been beating down in Delhi for 3 days now. We've got not a drop of rain. तो थोड़ा यहाँ भेज दो फुर्सत में.
यार फुर्सत में मैं अभी बीच में so my parents, they are in Delhi only. तो अभी मैं वहाँ पे कुछ 10-15 दिन जो है वो बिता के आया हूँ, and I'm telling you, मुझे ऐसा लगा that I was in some sort of a microwave oven, because it just saps you completely. The heat and just the warmth, and I'm not talking of the warmth that you generally get with people, just the warmth of roaming around. I was just like, yaar, I thought Mumbai can really sap your energies because of the humidity, but Delhi can be really mean to you if you enter Delhi in the wrong month, man. And it was pretty bad. कोशिश करूंगा थोड़ा सा ऐसा भेज देता हूं मैं तुम्हें बारिश.
प्लीज यार, जो भी मेहमान जुड़ता है मुंबई से, ऐसा यार थोड़ा भेज दो. But good to have you on the show, man. So I know we're here.
Pleasure.
We're talking about the Asia Cup squad. So then I'll put you on the spot. Your immediate takeaways when you saw that. I'm guessing you saw it on social media as well, like I did.
Yeah, I did. See, I have been spending a lot of time with experts, and I completely understand. Guys who have played the game, you can't question them, right? Because they understand the game and the nuances much better. But just sometimes what happens is, when you're too close to something, तो आप objectively शायद उसको उतना नहीं देख पाते हो. And my concerns have been, I mean, they have been probably from the last T20 World Cup that happened in Dubai, where we did have a great team on paper, but they weren't able to deliver in the same manner. And the most important question in my head was कि हमारी टीम में जो बैटिंग ऑर्डर है, क्या वो उतने रन बना पाएगी जो आजकल, if you just check the successful templates of most teams, the way the batting order is put together, I always felt you got three cricketers or three batsmen at the top of the order who, in a way, are kind of similar. You need different, like, it's horses for courses theory, right? You need someone like Johnny Bairstow, or someone like David Warner, or someone who's explosive. And if you notice, Jamie, after the T20 World Cup, we played a series against New Zealand. We won that. Then there was a series against South Africa, which was an ODI series, but you're still trying those combinations. Then we played 3 T20s versus West Indies, Sri Lanka. We won everything. But there was a lot of experimentation that was happening. And the one thing that I still can't wrap my head around, and I've been talking to people like Deep Das Gupta and Ajit Agarkar, who have been part of the broadcast system for quite a long time. Murli Karthik, I just had a conversation with Murli Karthik for another show altogether, and I was like, just count the number of openers we have tried, right? We have tried Ishan Kishan, we have tried Ruturaj Gaikwad, we have tried uh, Sanju Samson, we have tried Surya Kumar Yadav just very recently in that series against West Indies. But what happens when KL Rahul and Rohit both are fit and they come back into the team? Do you stick to the same openers? Because that's the same opening duo that opened for you in the T20 World Cup. And by the way, I mean, I do my research, right? Those two
बिल्कुल.
games that cost us the World Cup in Dubai, the game against Pakistan, KL Rahul managed three, and Rohit Sharma got out on a duck, as we all remember. And in that game against New Zealand, which was again a must-win game because you've already lost the first encounter, and you know that these are the two teams to beat. KL Rahul was able to score 18, and Rohit didn't open the batting. It was Ishan
Yep.
Kishan, but Rohit scored 14. So what happens if your top two get out? In walks in Virat Kohli, who likes to accumulate runs and play the pure cricketing shots. So you don't have somebody who's an enforcer at the top of the order. That was my main concern.
Absolutely well said. 100% I have agreed with you, because this is the kind of argument that I've been making. Again, you have to be objective when you're looking at things. You have to detach emotion from things, Suren. And I'm saying the same thing. The whole point is, yes, because of COVID, it's unnatural. The two T20 World Cups are happening in the span of 12 months. That doesn't happen, right? But you do play. Every team plays these tournaments to win, right? I'm not getting
Right.
into the fact that we have struggled to win IC events. मैं वो नहीं कह रहा हूँ. My barometer to assess this team and everyone involved is, how have you moved beyond those two matches, Suren, which you mentioned? Pakistan, Shaheen Shah Afridi, quality left arm pace. Next match, the spinners tied everyone down. Yes, Virat got runs, but you saw the struggle. Now, the Virat Kohli argument has been raging for a long time because the man himself has set the bar so high, Suren. But I'm not even going there yet. I'm saying the exact same thing. मैं आपकी बात से सहमत हूं कि रोहित, Rahul and Virat Kohli are in a sense similar kind of batsmen. What happens when, because we're playing, I don't need to remind you, but maybe our viewers do not know, we're playing Pakistan in the first match of the T20 World Cup again. Is it not foreseeable that Pakistan is licking their lips saying, यार हम क्यों ना एक और left armer fast bowler खिलाएं? If the same problem happens again, KL Rahul has not played a single T20I this year. It can be argued, okay, why is he coming back? We'll get to that.
Yeah.
Rohit Sharma has improved strike rate, but he does not have big scores. And Virat has played 4 of, I think, 22 ODI. So, Khudana Khasta, if the score is 15 for 2 and this Virat Kohli, without any runs, is walking in, where is the team going to be? So, I do have issues. Who then would you see? Because they tried Rishabh Pant, they tried Shreyas Iyer, but Iyer is not now in this squad. Are we looking at the same top three walking back?
Okay, Jamie. Firstly, let's not just look at the negatives that we have experienced when the Indian team played in that T20 World Cup, because
Sure,
also let's understand that Rohit is a very different captain to what Virat Kohli was. Virat Kohli,
absolutely.
no doubt, one of the greatest captains that we have seen, but Rohit is a more cerebral captain, if I would probably put it nicely. And
Okay,
let's not even take away the record that Rohit has from the time he took over as full time captain. We have annihilated, and that's again putting
very
it
good.
mildly, we have annihilated opponents and we have annihilated them in different conditions. New Zealand, 3-0, Sri Lanka, 3-0, West Indies, 3-0, all at home. Then we go to England and we beat England. Mind you, England is a very strong team. Ireland and maybe West Indies, they might not be at the same level of competition, but still, beating an opponent is what matters, right? So let's not
Bilkul.
take away that. I feel that India has tried all these permutations and combinations. And since you spoke about that India Pakistan encounter in the upcoming T20 World Cup in Australia, also understand, if we just rewind and go back to the T20 World Cup in Dubai, India had not played Pakistan so much. And
Correct.
Shaheen Shah Afridi, it's different watching someone on television or on your mobile screen. But when you're up against a fast bowler of that quality and that caliber, it can be a completely different test, right? But
Absolutely.
in India's advantage going into the India Pakistan encounter in Melbourne, by the way, which might assist pacers more than spinners. Remember,
Yep.
India might have played Pakistan thrice before playing that encounter in Melbourne. The upcoming Asia Cup, again, dress rehearsal for the World Cup. Most teams like Sri Lanka, Afghanistan, Pakistan would be fielding what could be the probable squad for the World Cup, right?
Sure, sure,
So you
sure.
will get the opportunity to play Shaheen Shah Afridi. You will get to play Haris Rao, all these guys. And once you've got maybe three matches, and I'm talking potentially India might play three matches against Pakistan, you would know how to tackle them. And I
Sure.
think it's a blessing in disguise that the Asia Cup is happening just prior to the World Cup because that's what India needs. You don't want to go into a World Cup and play an opponent who's an unknown quantity and you've not really played them. I mean, the last time India
Correct.
played Pakistan was back at the World Cup, right? After that, we've not played Pakistan.
It's
So
every 2 years. Yeah, exactly.
it's going to be a different ball game, honestly, when this time India takes on Pakistan because again, those three matches could really make a difference.
Yeah. No, that's also, I mean, I'm not going to disagree with you. That's very, very important because this happens for reasons we're not going to discuss on this show. These two teams do not get a chance to play. I just feel that, and I think this is something which we've also discussed with other guests. The one common link, if you, and I know I don't want to be negative, we have positives to talk about, but अगर हम थोड़ा देखें कि problem क्या है, 2017 Champions Trophy final, it all in essence boiled down to Mohammad Amir's left arm pace. The 2019 One Day World Cup, when Trent Bolt came and got Virat Kohli, that was big, and then we saw Shaheen Afridi. So it's just that problem of, do we have players who could perhaps be left field picks to open against a left armor, which is why I think Rishabh Pant is not the final product. But I saw those 2-3 matches where the Indian team said, let's try Pant, let's try a Surya, because their games are very different to Rahul, KL Rahul, and Virat Kohli. Surya Kumar Yadav can try to offset the bowlers, and Pant being a lefty, Manta Pant often leaves us, pulling our hair out or whatever hair is left. But the signs that I saw in these kind of experiments, perhaps indicative of the Indian management trying something different to counter the likes of Shaheen Afridi? And
Jamie,
feel free to disagree.
what? No, what you said is pertinent. Yes, I remember the 2017 Mohammad Amir spell that got Virat Kohli and Rohit Sharma out. I remember
Yeah.
Trent Bolt's spell in the 2019 World Cup, and I also remember what Shaheen Shah Afridi did. But we are talking about it. Everybody knows these three spells. I'm sure that Rahul Dravid and Rohit Sharma are also aware. So I guess all this experimentation that has happened at the top of the order could be keeping these things in mind. They have given Rishabh Pant. I was also surprised not to see Ishan Kishan's name in the squad because they really did stick to him, and it was a
Yep,
long
yep,
experiment. And it's not like the boy hasn't scored runs; he has scored runs. So I guess he's
absolutely.
just unlucky to miss out. Look, when I look at that batting order, for me, the biggest X factor will be Surya Kumar Yadav because he has got a game which is such a 360-degree game and he loves playing his shots, which is the reason why I feel that if you have to play a punt and you want somebody to score quick runs and take the game to the opposition, something that we have seen Virender Sehwag do in test matches and ODIs alike, right? Virender
Yep,
Sehwag
yep.
might just have played, say, 6, 7 overs, but he would demoralize the bowler so much that there was no way that they could mount a comeback. And I feel Surya Kumar Yadav has the caliber and the capability of doing something similar. Having said that, left arm pace has been troublesome for India, but I have full faith. Again, like I said, Rohit is a very cerebral captain. He
Yep.
understands the things that India needs to work on. And the thing about Indian cricket, I mean, we all agree, right? They never will let you know what's exactly happening till the point comes
बिल्कुल
where they
बिल्कुल.
have to showcase all the plans coming to fruition.
Yep. Chaliye, before we go on, a lot of viewers are saying welcome to the show for the first time. Thank you guys
Oh,
for all your lovely comments. कुछ सवाल भी हैं. बहुत सारे comments आए हैं. Virat Kohli. Yes, we're all waiting, my friend. We're not anti Kohli. We all love Virat Kohli. We want the runs to come, and I've got a feeling this time in the Asia Cup he's gonna have to crack it because, like you said, it is that final big tournament before the T20 World Cup. Guys, please keep posting your questions here. Just to add a bit on Surya Kumar Yadav, where do you think Suren? Because you obviously seen the IPL and the matches up close. Where do you think his best fit is? Because I was having a polite argument with a friend recently. वो कह रहा था कि यार सूर्य कुमार यादव का best role है opening because he gets more time to play those shots. But my view on him is this guy can pull out these amazing shots. The 360 range you spoke about, he can do that pretty much everywhere, which makes him the most important batsman, in my estimation, in this team. Do you think having him bat at four is where he's best suited? Because we've seen if it's 15 for three, I would want this guy walking out more than anybody else.
Okay, firstly, Radha Sharma, she's saying that she's really excited for the India
Yeah.
Pakistan match. Radha, you're not the only one. Even we are very excited. Okay, so unpopular opinion, and this is my
Okay.
opinion. It doesn't have to be the like the popular opinion. I think Surya's best fit is number three.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, and now you'd ask, where do you put Virat Kohli? Okay, so it's interesting because I feel if there is one guy other than Surya who can play at any batting spot, it's KL Rahul. We've seen KL Rahul
Agreed. Agreed.
play very aggressively even when he's come lower down the order. My mind goes back to that series against New Zealand in New Zealand about a few years ago when KL Rahul would come in a one-day game also at 5-6 and he would smash the ball. So KL Rahul is capable of playing aggressive. Having said that, who knows? You look, Jamie. One thing is for sure: at least in that India-Pakistan game, you might not see Rohit Sharma open with Virat Kohli. But there is a possibility that India might play it a little safe in that first game. KL will open, Rohit will open with him, Virat will come three, and Surya will come four. Having said that, depending on how that match goes, I mean, may God make India win. If that happens, you might not see too many changes in the batting order.
Yeah.
But, and I'm hating myself for even suggesting, if India loses that game, then it will set the cat amongst the pigeons, and you might see a lot of changes in the batting order, which is not optimal. But then that is
Not
for me to
up
live
at
with.
all.
Yeah,
Absolutely. Let's hope that doesn't happen. And I agree with you. I'm bringing up KL Rahul here on our lock screens. This guy, and I've said this on a public forum many times. One day ki baat kare, I think he's outstanding in the middle order because we saw that series. His average in the middle order in one days is some 54. The strike rate jumps by 11-12 points. He is also like Suryakumar Yadav, exactly like you said, Suren. He's the biggest match winner. But baat ye hai ki he's not played a single T20I this year, and we're in August. But there was an IPL, and KL Rahul is Mr. IPL for so many reasons. Forget where his team ends up. He ends up every year for the last 5 years in the top three run getter. So something is working the way he bats. But I go back to the way, and you know what I'm talking about here, the clear shift by India's batsmen to score runs quicker under Rohit Sharma. Rohit Sharma has been leading from the front. He's not got the big runs, but whatever runs he's got, Saren, you know this. The strike rate has been very good, and now India have their best strike rate in a prolonged period than they've ever had.
right.
Very heartening to see this shift. मेरा ये मानना है कि it's if 4 or 5 players can get you 30-35 runs at a strike rate of 190, 200, that gives you a good chance of getting to 190. And we've seen West Indies, man, we won 4-1, only 350s, but the strike rate had gone up so much. Let's get to the point. Do you think this man is under the most pressure because he's coming back after 8 months?
ओके जेमी, अब मैं एक सवाल आपसे पूछता हूं,
बिल्कुल
क्या
बिल्कुल
के क्या केएल राहुल एक ऐसा खिलाड़ी है जिसको आप इंडियन टीम से ड्रॉप कर सकते हो?
मैं कहूंगा आज के दिन हाँ, बिकॉज इट्स अ वर्ल्ड कप ईयर एंड we're in
नो,
August. He's not played a single match. That's why I'm saying.
आई आई गेट योर पॉइंट, आई गेट योर पॉइंट, लेकिन लुक, लेट्स जस्ट अंडरस्टैंड वन थिंग के आईपीएल खेलना और कंट्री के लिए खेलना दो बहुत अलग चीजें हैं.
बिल्कुल
केएल
बिल्कुल
राहुल केएल राहुल जिनको हम लखनऊ की टीम के लिए खेलते हुए देखते हैं, वो एक अलग केएल राहुल है. He
बिल्कुल
is the most important batsman in that lineup, and there's no doubt about that. लेकिन इंडिया के लिए जब केएल राहुल खेलते हैं, it's a lineup of superstars, man, who can really make a mess of opposition on their best day. केएल
बिल्कुल
राहुल मुझे लगता है कि इस टीम में उनका होना बहुत जरूरी है. Having said that, अब आपको पता है कि वो वर्ल्ड कप अक्टूबर में होने वाला है. आप केएल राहुल को टीम से कैसे बाहर रख सकते हो? और अगर टीम में आपने उन्हें सिलेक्ट किया है, मैं मानता हूं कि उन्होंने कोई टी20 नहीं खेला है, मैं मानता
करेक्ट
हूं कि वो इंजरी से वापस आ रहे हैं, लेकिन अगर आप उनको वर्ल्ड कप खिलाना चाहते हो, जो बहुत जरूरी है केएल राहुल जैसे प्लेयर का खेलना, आप कब खिलाओगे उन्हें? आपके पास एशिया कप है, उसके बाद ऑस्ट्रेलिया
Yep.
के साथ मैचेस हैं और साउथ अफ्रीका के साथ मैचेस हैं।
South Africa.
अब आपके पास ये जितने भी 10 मैचेस बचे हुए हैं, इन 10 मैचों में आपने जितनी भी एक्सपेरिमेंटेशन किया ना, उसको अब खत्म करके यू हैव टू
Ig-
गेट योर स्क्वाड राइट। केएल राहुल रन
Precisely.
बनाए ना बनाए, इट्स फाइन। 10 मैचेस हैं, व्हाट मैटर्स एशिया कप जीतना और साथ में वर्ल्ड कप जीतना। आई थिंक ये बाकी सारे जो गेम्स हैं ऑस्ट्रेलिया के साथ, साउथ अफ्रीका के साथ, जीते तो सुभान अल्लाह, नहीं जीते तो फिर भी अपनी जो कमियां हैं उनको ठीक करना है, उनको पूरा करना है। केएल राहुल रन ना बनाए, आई एम ओके। देयर इज अ वेरी
Okay.
गुड चांस दैट केएल राहुल जब पहला गेम खेलेंगे एशिया कप में, हो सकता है थोड़ा अनकंफर्टेबल लगे, हो सकता है कि रन ना बने, लेकिन केएल राहुल का फॉर्म में आना जरूरी है, क्योंकि जब तक वो लड़का
बिल्कुल है.
खेलेगा नहीं, जब तक बंदा खेलेगा नहीं, तब तक how will he get back into the rigors of international cricket? I think KL
Absolutely.
Rahul is also somebody who's undroppable.
Undroppable. ठीक है. I was just thinking that, let's say again, it's going to sound bad saying this. Khuda na khasta, he has a bad Asia Cup, then you're taking a player to the Australia for the T20 World Cup who's not got run. So let's hope he gets back. I agree with you. If anyone can get back and hit the ground running, it is this man. But just the rustiness factor. Also, he's been injured. It's very, very tough. You know, for top athletes to come back. And you said 10 matches. You know, in a World Cup year, अगर उस 10 में से शायद 7-8 भी अच्छे ना हुए, then the doubts in the mind start to play. So let's hope it works out. Moving on to the next player. ये बंदा जो है, ये मेरे सबसे फेवरेट खिलाड़ी हैं for so many reasons. फोटो कहाँ गया हमारे भाई का? एक सेकंड.
कौन है? मैं बहुत उत्सुक हूं अब ये जानने के लिए कि किसकी बात कर रहे हो
I
तुम।
have so many pictures saved here. ये ऋषभ पंत, okay? This guy ऋषभ पंत.
ओए,
This guy मतलब टेस्ट क्रिकेट में जो इसने हासिल किया है 31 टेस्ट मैचेस में, he is on the way to GOAT status for me. It's very evident, Suren, that the team has tried their best to fit him into T20s. उसको ओपनिंग किया था. They got Shreyas to open so that they could bring him back. Given the talent that this guy has, his keeping has improved so much. Like I said, he's my favorite player going around. But थोड़ा clarity को लेके, I think he's fallen victim to that. The team sort of has struggled कि इसको हम कहाँ खिलाएं. Where do you think his best fit is? For me, I would open with him any day.
जेमी, मैं एक छोटा सा किस्सा बताता हूँ। जो
Please,
इंडिया
please.
श्रीलंका का गेम था, जो बैंगलोर में टेस्ट मैच हुआ था, उसमें विकेटें धड़ाधड़ गिर रही थी। ऐसा लग रहा था कि ये 5 दिन का टेस्ट मैच जो है, ये 2 दिन भी नहीं चलेगा भाई। एंड ऋषभ पंत was there and if you remember, उस पिच पे ऐसी टर्न हो रही थी जैसे हम लोग अपने सोसाइटी के ग्राउंड, जो हमारी कॉलोनी के ग्राउंड होते हैं ना, उसमें जहां पे बिल्कुल घास नहीं होती, उसके वजह से जो टेनिस बॉल जिस तरीके से टर्न करती है, उतनी टर्न हो रही थी। तो मुझे याद है, इंडिया ने बैटिंग की, इंडिया के बहुत सारे विकेट गिर गए थे, श्रीलंका के बहुत सारे विकेट गिर गए थे। दूसरी इनिंग स्टार्ट हो गई थी, आई थिंक दूसरे तीसरे दिन ऋषभ पंत की बैटिंग आनी थी। एंड सुबह बिफोर द मैच स्टार्टेड, आई वाज स्टैंडिंग विद मिस्टर गावस्कर एंड अजीत आगरकर। हमारा शो स्टार्ट होने वाला था। अब
Yeah.
ऋषभ और मैं, हम दोनों काफी बार मिल चुके हैं, वी हैव इंटरव्यूड ईच अदर, तो अच्छी बातचीत होती है हमारी। मैंने ऋषभ को बोला, भाई ये मैच तो बहुत ही फंसा हुआ लग रहा है, प्रेशर तो नहीं फील कर रहा है? तो ही इज यंगर टू मी, राइट, ही इज 24। ही इज लाइक,
Yeah.
भैया मैंने कभी लाइफ में प्रेशर लिया है जो अब लूंगा मैं। सो आई लव दैट अबाउट हिम। जेमी, ही इज
बिल्कुल.
24, 24 साल की उम्र में what Rishabh Pant has achieved is unimaginable. Like I'm not, I
Absolutely.
mean, you know, मतलब कहते हैं ना, भूल चूक माफ। MS Dhoni for me is the greatest Indian wicketkeeper that we have seen, without a shadow of a doubt. ऋषभ पंत अगर और खेल गया ना जिस तरीके से वो खेल रहा है, 24 साल की उम्र में, जेमी तुम उम्र में क्या कर रहे थे यार? 24 साल की उम्र में हम सोच रहे थे कि अपने करियर में क्या करेंगे, राइट? वी वर जस्ट
Exactly.
फिगरिंग आउट कि भैया ये करना सही रहेगा या
हाँ,
वो करना सही
exactly.
रहेगा। लेकिन ऋषभ पंत अगर वो 10 साल, एक दशक और खेल गया, forget about the fact that he will be in conversation of the greatest India wicketkeeper. He will probably be in the conversation of the greatest wicketkeeper ever. Period.
बिल्कुल.
Now, coming back to your question, ऋषभ पंत को कहाँ खेलना चाहिए? Okay, so Jamie, I'm not saying that this is my batting order, but this could possibly be the batting order because Rohit and KL, Virat, हम वो तीन जो है वो डिस्कस कर चुके हैं. Surya
Yeah.
at 4, Rishabh will come in at 5 in all
5.
probability, unless you have the need or you want, you desire the right left combination. हो सकता है
Sure.
कि अदला बदली हो. And there's also a good possibility that, see, वो फुटबॉल में नहीं होता टोटल फुटबॉल, डिफेंडर जो है वो अटैक भी खेल लेता है. आपके पास ऐसे खिलाड़ी हैं, ऋषभ पंत और हार्दिक पांड्या एंड सूर्या, जो वक्त आने पे थोड़ा डिफेंसिव भी खेल सकते हैं एंड वक्त आने पे अग्रेसिव भी खेल सकते हैं.
बिल्कुल.
सो आई थिंक ये
Versatile.
जो 3 रोल्स हैं, सूर्या, ऋषभ एंड हार्दिक, you will see a shift in the batting order depending on the match situation.
Situation. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. So yeah,
Sorry,
I
यहाँ
think
पे
Rishabh I think will play in that middle order for India.
in the middle order.
I don't see him suddenly coming to open in the Asia Cup. You never know, man. I never thought that I'll see Surya Kumar Yadav open the batting.
Exactly. There's been so much chopping and changing, and Suren, overall, the results have been positive. So it's a fascinating period to watch this team, just sort of try and shed the baggage of the past year and say, yeah, you know what, we're ready. And I think you also agree with me. Hardik Pandya said this, DK said this, कि यार कभी भी हमें इतनी सिक्योरिटी महसूस नहीं हुई टीम में जो अब कुछ हो रहा है. Because Suren, this aggressive way our batsmen are playing, it's not without risk, but you can only play these shots when you have the entire backing of the team, which is something rare, yeah.
It's not rare because Jamie, you have been a journalist for so long. I have been a viewer. Look, I might be a presenter with Star Sports. I might be there on a cricket field, but the reason I'm there is because I love the game.
Yep.
I think एक बहुत बड़ा shift आया था 2000 में जब सौरव गांगुली कैप्टन बने थे. There were a lot of guys, if you remember, who were in the mix. वीरेंद्र सहवाग, उनको मिडिल ऑर्डर में टेस्ट मैचेस में जगह नहीं मिलने वाली थी. Guys like Zahir Khan, Yuvraj Singh, Mohammad Kaif. Mohammad Kaif
Yep.
was always an extra batsman that we played, जिसके लिए दादा ने राहुल द्रविड़ से कहा कि तुम कीपिंग कर लो ताकि मैं इसको खिला सकूं टीम में, इनकी जगह बन सके.
True.
This was the culture which maybe Dada had started. And I think now Rohit is doing something that even Virat and MS did before him, but it's just more amplified. I think Rohit believes that if the faith of the team is on a player, it's okay if you do not perform well for 3 matches, 4 matches. लेकिन तुम्हें वो लॉन्ग रोप मिलेगी प्रूव करने के लिए. तुम रन बनाओ, नहीं बने चलेगा. Tomorrow is another day. Which is why you see so many of these guys 3 मैचेस के बाद. डीके जब इंडियन टीम अभी वापस आया था आफ्टर द आईपीएल, पहले के 2-3 मैचेस में वो थोड़े फीके थे, but then he has also turned in some match winning performances. Now अगर कोई और कैप्टन उसे ड्रॉप कर देता, you might not have seen DK again, right? Because he's
Absolutely
also
not.
in his late 30s. But that's fine, man. I think I love Rohit Sharma as a captain. And I'm not saying this because, मेरे को विराट कोहली से ज्यादा रोहित पसंद है. I loved Virat as a captain as well.
Yep.
दिल्ली वाला है यार, और दिल्ली वाले थोड़े अग्रेसिव होते हैं. मुझे लगता था कि विराट कोहली बिल्कुल अपना दिल्ली वाला अग्रेशन जो है वो फील्ड पे लेके आ रहे हैं. बट मुझे रोहित की कैप्टनसी में एक बहुत काम और कंपोज्ड कैप्टन नजर आता है, which is why I think with this Indian team, रोहित और राहुल भाई के होते हुए, you will see कुछ नहीं होने वाला है. आप अपना नेचुरल गेम खेलो, फेल भी हो गए तो चलेगा.
Well said. One last question on the batsmen because we have to talk about bowlers. How do you think, Shreyas Iyer is India's leading run getter, Suren, in T20Is this year. He's not there. Ishan Kishan, number 2, he's not there. Despite the struggles with Shreyas Iyer, you do kind of feel a bit bad for him, yeah.
जेमी, श्रेयस अय्यर का टीम में होता. बाय द वे, श्रेयस मेरा बहुत अच्छा खास दोस्त है. आई हैव एक्चुअली हंग आउट विद हिज पेरेंट्स आल्सो एंड आई लव श्रेयस. बट जस्ट कीपिंग your personal I guess friendship and personal bond with someone aside, श्रेयस अगर टीम में होता कहां खिलाते तुम उसको?
Exactly. With Virat Kohli back, which is why I'm still saying I'm still somewhat not anti-Rahul, but I think perhaps I get the logic of playing him for the Asia Cup. But if he does not score runs in the Asia Cup, I would then not take Rahul to Australia. Then I fall back on Shreyas.
देखो, वो फुटबॉल का अगेन लॉजिक होता है ना. स्ट्राइकर की जगह स्ट्राइकर आता है, डिफेंडर की जगह डिफेंडर आता है, गोलकीपर की जगह गोलकीपर आता है. अब आपके पास एक टीम में केएल राहुल, विराट कोहली, रोहित शर्मा, ये तीनों हैं जो रन बनाना जानते हैं, एक्यूमुलेट करना जानते हैं, एंड दे आल्सो नो कि कब पेडल पे पैर रखना है और रेस लगानी है. आई गेस the thing is कि दीपक हुड्डा is someone who can really change gears. सूर्य कुमार यादव के बारे में हम जानते हैं, ऋषभ
बिल्कुल,
पंत के
बिल्कुल।
बारे में भी हम जानते हैं, एंड हार्दिक पांड्या वो तो मेरे लिए स्टार है, बिकॉज हार्दिक पांड्या
एब्सोल्युटली।
is probably one of the best all-rounders that we have in the world. And I think I became a bigger fan of Hardik after the way he played in the IPL. Because I never thought Hardik is capable of playing long innings even in T20 games, man. तो अगर आप श्रेयस अय्यर को खिलाते तो कहाँ खिलाते? आप ऋषभ पंत को ड्रॉप करते? नहीं करते. आप हार्दिक पांड्या को ड्रॉप करते? नहीं करते. आप किसको ड्रॉप करते? विराट कोहली को ड्रॉप करते? ये इंडियन टीम नहीं करेगी विराट कोहली को
नहीं,
ड्रॉप.
नहीं, नहीं, एग्ज़ैक्टली।
रोहित कैप्टन है, केएल राहुल. I think it's just bad luck that because there are like for like replacements, Shreyas Iyer has missed out. But hey man, listen, it's just one Asia Cup, it's just one World Cup. अभी तो बहुत लंबा सफर है. We
बिल्कुल,
will see Shreyas
एब्सोल्युटली।
play for India for a really long time.
Absolutely, and you mentioned that turning Bangalore track, where Rishabh Pant scored runs. Shreyas Iyer got 92, 93 not out. That so far
Exactly.
for me, that for me is arguably one of the best Indian innings of this year so far. So I get it. But chaliye, let's move on from the batsman because time is literally running out. The bowling, of course, when Jasprit Bumrah is not there, that's a huge loss. I'm fully confident he'll come back. Harshal bit को लेके कुछ doubts हैं about the niggle. I hope he comes back. Um, in a sense, Avesh Khan is maybe competing with an Arshdeep. Avesh Khan I think he's 25. Team really rates him high. I think he has done enough to stay in the mix for Australia. Arshdeep is interesting because he did not finish anywhere near the top wicket takers in the IPL, but जो उनको एक role दिया गया था of doing a job, he did it so bloody well. Keeping runs check. ऊपर से Suren, he's a left armer, but बुमराह और हर्षल अगर वापस आ गए तो which two bowlers would then go out from the current Asia Cup squad? Because somebody has to go.
Jamie, firstly, cheers, it's your first show. मैं भी अपनी कॉफी पी रहा हूँ, तुम भी अपनी कॉफी पी रहे हो. And I just want to say this right at the beginning. I love you, bro. But Jamie, T20 एक ऐसा फॉर्मेट है जहां पे आपने कितने रन बनाए, कितने ज्यादा रन बनाए और कितनी ज्यादा विकेट ली, उससे कुछ फर्क नहीं पड़ता. 20 ओवर का गेम है. आप 5 विकेट अगर ले लो तो बहुत अच्छी बात है, लेकिन 20 ओवर के गेम में आपको 4 ओवर का स्पेल मिलता है. ठीक. अर्शदीप जो है, मुझे लगता है ही इज समवन फॉर द फ्यूचर, बिकॉज अर्शदीप T20 गेम में जिस अंदाज से, जिस टैलेंट और स्किल्स के साथ वो रन पे रोक लगाता है, यू नीड समवन लाइक दैट. मैं फिर से एक एग्जांपल देता हूं. वसीम अकरम, बाय द वे, माय मोस्ट फेवरेट क्रिकेटर एवर. जो वसीम भाई थे, मुझे लगता है कि दुनिया में एक ही वसीम अकरम था और आएगा. वसीम भाई और वकार यूनिस जब बॉल एक साथ डालते थे ना, एक साइड से वसीम भाई वुड पुट प्रेशर, जिसका बेनिफिट मिलता था वकार यूनिस को. उनका स्ट्राइक रेट बहुत कमाल था. अर्शदीप इज सिमिलर. तो अब जब मैंने ये बात बोली है, द नेक्स्ट टाइम वी सी इंडिया प्ले, तुम ये देखना, जब अर्शदीप का स्पेल चल रहा होता है ना, उस पूरे फेज में, जैसे अगर अर्शदीप ने ओवर नंबर 1 and 2 डाला या व्हाटएवर 2 and 4 डाला, तुम देखना टोटल जो 4 ओवर्स हैं जो अर्शदीप के साथ बॉल डाल रहे हैं, उनको कितना फायदा होता है, क्योंकि वो विकेट ले जाते हैं. अर्शदीप क्रिएट्स द प्रेशर, और वो प्रेशर रिलीज करने के लिए दूसरी साइड से बैट्समैन जो सोचता है मैं दूसरे बॉलर को टारगेट करूंगा, और वो अपना विकेट ले जाते हैं. अर्शदीप अपना काम कर जाते हैं. आई थिंक ही इज वेरी इफेक्टिव, मैन. यू नीड हिम.
Absolutely. And exactly, to add on, and he's a left armer जो सख्त जरूरत है इस टीम को. In my book, he's a certainty for the T20 World Cup. I hope he gets chances. I think he will get chances, Suren, in the Asia Cup. We've now seen Akshar Patel has pretty much played a lot of matches alongside Jadeja. वो नहीं है, वो standby में है. Deepak Chahar is also coming back after a lengthy gap. I won't get into where he stands, but the choice of spinners, we know कि चहल खेलेंगे because India made a criminal mistake मेरे हिसाब से last year not taking Chahal to the T20 World Cup. He's going to be there.
Jamie,
they've gone.
Chahal and Bishnoi are your 1 and 2. Period.
This is exactly.
अगर आप स्पिनर्स,
my point exactly.
आप अगर टीम लेके जा रहे हो, फॉरगेट एशिया कप, मुझे लगता है कि वर्ल्ड कप में भी हम गलती फिर से नहीं दोहराएंगे. युजवेंद्र चहल विल बी योर नंबर 1 स्पिनर. रिमेंबर, आपके पास टीम में एक रविंद्र जडेजा भी हैं, तो आप ऑस्ट्रेलिया में ज्यादा से ज्यादा 2 स्पिनर खिलाओगे ना,
मैक्सिमम, उससे आगे नहीं.
मैक्सिमम. और एक आपके पास बैकअप होना चाहिए कि भाई अगर रविंद्र जडेजा और दिनेश कार्तिक के बीच में आपको एक बैट्समैन चूज करना है, तो आपको एक बॉलर भी चूज करना पड़ेगा. तो हो सकता
Yep.
है कि आप युजवेंद्र चहल के साथ रवि बिश्नोई को ले आए एंड आप दिनेश कार्तिक को भी खिला लें, सो दैट आपकी टीम का जो संतुलन है, जो बैलेंस है, वो बेटर हो
Sure,
जाए.
sure.
बट I don't think anybody else right now, when it comes to the World Cup, is in the conversation as strongly as Yuzi and Ravi Bishnoi.
I'm so glad to hear this because not enough people are agreeing with me when I talk about this guy on the screen. बहुत लोग कह रहे हैं कुलदीप, nothing against कुलदीप, मैं कुलदीप का बहुत बड़ा फैन हूं, but कुलदीप का style of bowling, yes, he's a Chinaman, but there's too many similarities Suren between him and Chahal. ये लड़का जो करता है, he does not rely on on leg breaks. ये तेज डालता है. He offers so much variety as compared to Chahal, and on those Australian pitches, मेरे हिसाब से, and I'm very glad that you put him as number 2, because in my book, and I hope they play him based on conditions, because the way Chahal bowls and the way this guy bowls, they're going to put teams like Pakistan under pressure.
True, because yaar, Yuzi and Ravi Bishnoi, I think their greatest asset and their greatest weapon is कि आप जब बॉल का वेट कर रहे होते हो ना, आपको पता ही नहीं है कि कितनी जल्दी आएगी और कहां टर्न करेगी. रवि
Absolutely.
बिश्नोई, एक तो रवि बिश्नोई जब हम उनको देखते हैं मैच में, नीचे लिखा हुआ आता है राइट आर्म लेग स्पिनर, राइट, लेकिन वो बदल के ना कर देना चाहिए राइट आर्म वी डोंट नो, क्योंकि हमें नहीं पता है
Exactly, exactly.
कि रवि बिश्नोई
ये
अब
ऐसे
इस
कुछ
गेम
करके
में
आते हैं.
गूगली डालेगा या लेग स्पिन डालेगा या भाई
Yep,
सीधी
yep,
डाल
yep.
देगा. एंड यार पता है जेमी, हम लोग ना हमेशा ये बात करते हैं कि अच्छा ये बॉलर कितना अच्छा है. पता है यूजी चहल का टीम में होना बहुत जरूरी है, बिकॉज वो टीम जब बहुत खुश होगी ना, एंड यूजी आई लव हिम, मतलब यूजी के साथ आप 5 मिनट बैठ जाओ, आपको ऐसा लगता है कि यार जिंदगी बहुत अच्छी है, बहुत खुशनुमा है. यूजी
क्या बात है.
जैसे खिलाड़ी का टीम में भी होना समटाइम्स इज वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट. एंड यूजी के टैलेंट पे तो कोई डाउट नहीं है. आई थिंक
नहीं,
we really missed a trick by not taking UZ for that World Cup last year, and he's proved it, right? IPL में उन्होंने प्रूव कर दिया है, अभी मैचेस में प्रूव कर दिया है. तो अभी भाई पाकिस्तान वालों, lightning strikes once, बार बार नहीं होने वाला है.
and exactly, and I hope this guy Ravi Bishnoi gets his chances in those 9-10 matches you mentioned, Suren, because iska confidence वैसे high होगा, because he's not had a bad game, I think, for India. शायद पांच ही match खेले हैं, but he does something. I was told नहीं यार, he's bowling against West Indies, they're poor. वो छोड़ो, but he's making them look like utter novices. इसमें वो range है, तो मैं चाहूंगा कि पाकिस्तान के against, because we've seen what Kuldeep and Chahal used to do when they were at their peak, and I think these guys, that is Chahal and Bishnoi, could
जेवी
do it as
यार
well. It
पता है,
would be awesome.
you and I we are talking about this. पता है, हम फैंस जो होते हैं ना, हम लोग थोड़े अजीब किस्म के होते हैं, बिकॉज
बहुत ही
सपोज कोई
अजीब.
कोई 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 सपोज कोई हल्की टीम है, ठीक है. अब हल्की टीम के साथ अगर हम खेलें, उनको अगर हमने बहुत रन बना दिए, तो हम कहते हैं
तो वहां
यार
बना
हम इनको
दिए.
आउट नहीं कर पाए, ये तो बहुत ही फुस टीम थी, इनको तो हम लोगों को आउट कर देना चाहिए था. और जब हमारी टीम उसी टीम को 100 पे ऑल आउट कर देती है, 120 पे ऑल आउट कर देती है, हम कहते हैं ऐसी टीम के साथ परफॉर्म करके ये तो कोई भी कर सकता है. बड़ी टीम के साथ एक्चुअली आई थिंक हम फैंस ना, हम कभी किसी चीज से खुश नहीं हो सकते. हम तो भगवान से खुश
कभी
नहीं है.
नहीं,
इंडियन
चांस ही
टीम में
नहीं है
तो
भाई.
हम खुश नहीं हो सकते. तो इट्स ओके, विच इज व्हाई आई थिंक वो क्रिकेटर्स जो है, दे शट आउट द नॉइज एंड दे नो कि परफॉर्म करना ज्यादा जरूरी है. यार वेस्ट
बिल्कुल.
इंडीज की टीम में भी निकोलस पूरन, सिमरन हेटमायर, रोमन पावल, ये सारे दिग्गज जिन्होंने
Yep.
आईपीएल में झंडे गाड़ दिए थे, उनको
And they're
आउट
playing at
करना.
home.
या एंड दे वर प्लेइंग एट होम. अपने अपने देश से ज्यादा तुम किसी देश को क्या जानोगे ना. So to go there and really demolish West Indies with the kind of batters that they have, I think it's काबिल तारीफ. So
बिल्कुल.
कभी तो खुश हो जाएं हम.
बिल्कुल. फैंस की बात करी तो I've been engaging on Twitter regarding this player मोहम्मद शामी. बहुत लोग कह रहे हैं कि इनको जाना चाहिए. Your view on that, only because his name has been making the waves recently.
यार it's such a interesting perspective कि मोहम्मद शामी को टीम में होना चाहिए था कि नहीं. Look, Akash Chopra also, I really respect Akash bhai a
Yeah,
lot.
yeah,
Even
yeah.
Akash Chopra was, मैं उनका शो देख रहा था, and he said that Mohammad Shami will walk into the team.
I saw
Yeah,
that.
but you've got I mean, I'm talking from the World Cup perspective. You got Jasprit Bumrah and Bhuvneshwar Kumar. You
Yeah.
got Ashdeep, who's your death over specialist. You got the two spinners. You also got Hardik Pandya. मैं
Hardik
वही
Pandya, absolutely.
मैं 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 वही सवाल पूछ रहा हूँ. आप टीम में तो ले आओगे, लेकिन खिलाओगे कहाँ और खिलाओगे किसकी जगह पे? Who do you play? Like एक टीम में रोनाल्डो मेसी दोनों है. आप दोनों को तो नहीं खिला सकते क्योंकि दोनों एक ही स्क्वाड में
Yeah,
खेल रहे
yeah,
हैं. लेकिन
yeah.
खुशी के लिए आप खिला सकते हो कि हाँ यार मेसी और रोनाल्डो दोनों मेरी टीम में. बट यू नीड हॉर्सेस फॉर कोर्सेस. घोड़े रेगिस्तान में नहीं भागते और ऊंट रेस कोर्स में नहीं भागते. ऊंट रेगिस्तान
क्या
के लिए
बात है.
बेटर है और घोड़े रेस कोर्स के लिए. सो आई जस्ट थिंक if you need to take someone in the team, you need to find the right fit for that right position. You've already got enough bowlers in Bhuvi, Bumrah, Ashdeep, and Harshal. Harshal gives you a lot of
And
cricket.
Harshal,
तो
bilkul, I hope he comes back.
मुझे लगता है कि अगर शामी भाई टीम में वापस आते तो वो भुवी की जगह आते. बट नहीं आए हैं तो आई एम गेसिंग टीम को
Yeah.
लग रहा है कि
No, and
हम.
Bilkul, and just to pick up on the horses for courses aspect you talked about, a lot of people are saying no, but his wrist position, the bounce he gets, that can be an asset in Australia. I'm not disagreeing, baat sahi hai, but Suren, this guy who's a titan in Test cricket and who's played two One-Day World Cups, the man has only played 17 T20I matches in his career. There's something there which people are not seeing. Yes, he's had two wicket-laden IPLs, but his death bowling has been rather all expensive, which is why I go back to the clarity of roles. Arshdeep ka jo clarity tha, he's done so well. Like you said, you cannot fit him in because you have Harshal and Arshdeep taking wickets at the death, right? And you have Bumrah and Bhuvneshwar up front. It's not about a lack of skill. It's just how do you fit him into the team. That's my argument with people as well.
यार हम लोगों की जो प्लानिंग होती है ना एज फैंस, मैं कह रहा हूँ इट्स ऑलवेज वेरी शॉर्ट टर्म. इस साल वर्ल्ड कप आने वाला है, इसमें क्या टीम होगी. ओके, अभी एशिया कप आने वाला है, इसमें क्या टीम होगी. डूड, for all you know, there might be some cricketers who might just announce their retirement after this T20 World Cup and say कि हम अब T20 फॉर्मेट नहीं खेलेंगे, राइट? बेन स्टोक्स ने ओडीआई से रिटायरमेंट ले ली है. वो T20 और टेस्ट क्रिकेट खेलना चाहते हैं. हो सकता है कि हमारी टीम में कुछ ऐसे खिलाड़ी हो जो बोले कि हम T20 नहीं खेलना चाहते.
It would not
अब
surprise me.
yeah, so I'm saying there is a lot of cricket. Jamie, you know this, man. I have never ever had the experience in a year of watching so much cricket that India has played. हम लिटरली सबके साथ खेल चुके हैं. न्यूजीलैंड के साथ 3 T20, फिर हमने साउथ अफ्रीका के साथ 3 टेस्ट मैचेस खेले, 3 ओडीआई खेले, वापस आए वेस्ट इंडीज के साथ ओडीआई भी खेले, T20 भी खेले, टोटल 6. फिर श्रीलंका के साथ T20, फिर उसके बाद हमने उनके साथ 2 टेस्ट मैचेस खेले. फिर इन लड़कों ने 2 महीने आईपीएल खेला है. फिर हम इंग्लैंड गए, फिर इंग्लैंड में हमने
आयरलैंड भी गए थे कोई लड़के.
एग्जैक्ट, आयरलैंड में भैया बहुत क्रिकेट. सो आई एम अ fan of Shami Bhai and his wrist position. He is one of the greatest exponents of that. यार इस T20 वर्ल्ड कप में नहीं हो सकता है कि वो उसके बाद आ जाए. फॉर ऑल यू नो एशिया कप के बाद ऑस्ट्रेलिया वाली सीरीज में पिक हो जाए और शायद इतनी अच्छी परफॉर्मेंस देगी वो T20 वर्ल्ड कप स्क्वाड में आ जाए. देखो टीम अभी भी ट्राई तो कर रही है. दीपक चाहर इतनी अच्छी स्विंग बॉलिंग डालते हैं, बट ही इज इन द रिजर्व्स. एंड दीपक चाहर अगेन, ही इज अ लाइक फॉर लाइक रिप्लेसमेंट फॉर समवन लाइक भुवनेश्वर कुमार. So you might get options, but you are trying to take the best 15 again, the best 15 for the tournament and the country that you're playing it in.
Yeah. Absolutely. That's a good note to end it on. We've totally run out of time. Suren, absolute pleasure. This is just how I had imagined it. First time we're having this kind of talk. बहुत मजा आया. And like you said, मैं जो बोलता हूँ बिल्कुल जो दिल और मन से निकलता है वही बोलता हूँ मैं. So absolute pleasure talking to you, my friend.
Thank you so
Thank you to
much.
all our viewers here who posted comments, for all the love. Thank you. Enjoy the rest of your week. Goodbye for now.